Hi, welcome back to our Canadian Foursquare. Today I am going to share with you 5 tips that we found useful when we renovated our kitchen. Hi there, thanks for joining us today. In this episode, I'm going to cover 5 tips that we learned throughout our kitchen renovation that we think will help you make your kitchen renovation a success. Although this is how we approached our kitchen renovation, some of these tips and tricks could actually be useful for you in other renovations you might do around the house. I know for us this summer, we're going to be renovating our attic, and we're going to be using some of these tips and tricks for that project as well. So hopefully you'll find this informative. As well, in the description below, we'll provide you with some of the suppliers that we used for some of the items we got for our project. Before we get started with the tips, I'd like to share with you a couple of photos taken of the kitchen before. Now, these photos actually are from the real estate listing that we got. I'm not sure if you can tell from these photos, but the kitchen was very tiny. The cupboards that we had were minimal. The counter space was minimal. The only saving grace for it was that we had a walk-in pantry with the Craftsman style doors, which was really, really beautiful and unique, but there was no way to expand the kitchen as it was currently laid out in this photo. If we were going to make the kitchen better, we had to do a few key changes. As you can see from these before photos, there's a wall there with a giant radiator in it, and behind that giant radiator wall, there's actually a bathroom with a shower and the pantry. Because this house was built around 1910, the house really only came with one main bathroom upstairs, and it's really important for a family of 4 to have a second bathroom. So what we decided to do was get rid of the wall that separated the kitchen from the bathroom, remove the pantry, and in the actual building jut out of our house, where the pantry is located, put the bathroom in there. So that's what we decided to do in general, without any kind of discussions about design or anything, was to determine that we were going to be removing a wall and we would need a supporting beam in order to take that wall out and then move the bathroom into where the pantry was and get rid of the pantry, unfortunately. The other thing that we had to do was remove one of the doors. There's actually 2 doors into the former kitchen from the outside. The main door that we used, we kept, and the secondary door, which we never used and takes up a lot of space that's potential counter space, we decided that we would close it off. So on the outside, you'll see it actually looks like a door, but on the inside, it's a window. So without further ado, let me share with you some of the tips. So tip number 1 is have a vision for the kitchen. And that includes not just what I just described about the physical changes of the layout, but also the design. And so in order to really get a sense of what we really wanted, we needed to come up with a vision board for the kitchen. And what better way to create a vision board than to use Pinterest? So that's what we did. We set up a board for our kitchen renovation and started to save images and ideas that came up as we went along. If you're interested in seeing this board for yourself or any other boards that we're doing for our other renovations, you can absolutely follow us at our Canadian Foursquare on Pinterest. So have a look for us there. We used Pinterest because it's a great tool to be able to pull pictures in that we've taken, pictures from the internet, pictures that have been shared with us. So how do you create a Pinterest board for your vision? Well, you really start with the key ideas that you would like to have. And then on Pinterest, what's nice is as you start to search for those basic or initial ideas, Pinterest provides you with other recommendations that help to grow your ideas and your likes and potential dislikes. And what you can do is you can save those things into your board, and then you have a nice vision of what the kinds of things that you would like for your design. For us, some of the key things we looked at were, we knew we were going to go with the IKEA kitchen, shaker doors. And so we did a lot of Pinterest searching for those kinds of doors. So white IKEA kitchen cupboard doors. And then we started to look at the backsplashes that they had in there, the moldings, the countertops, just to get a sense of what we liked. And as we were doing that, we realized that we liked white subway tile. We liked a darker grout to go with the white subway tile. We really loved natural woods, and we really liked marble countertops, butcher blocks. We knew that we wanted to keep our big crown molding and our craftsman style molding around the windows. Once we had the big things decided, then we were able to fine tune in our vision board the little things. So bookends for our cookbooks and shelving brackets. We were also at the same time doing the bathroom. So we were figuring out, okay, now we know what the kitchen looks like. What is the tiling going to look like in the bathroom? We have a craftsman house, so what type of pedestal sink are we going to have in the bathroom and toilet so that it goes with the look and feel with the moldings? We were even as specific as, what does molding look like on subway tile? Or images of subway tile going right to the ceiling. Ideas for large clocks. For sure, Pinterest is the tool to be doing this with. You're able to save anything online. You can save your own photos. So strongly recommend you have a vision and you go with Pinterest to keep yourself organized with your ideas, and use Pinterest as a tool to find more ideas to help complete the whole picture. The second tip is to make sure that you're not impulsive. So what does that mean to not be impulsive? Well, for us, we went with a contractor. And as much as you're excited about the project and you really want to get it done, you want to make sure that you go out there, see who's available for contractors, get quotes, have them come in, talk to the people, ask them questions, find out things like whether they're going to be doing the whole job or whether they're going to be subcontracting some pieces. And if so, what are those pieces? And if you, for example, plumbing, if you have a plumber you prefer or has worked in your house before and they subcontract the plumber, ask them if it's possible to use your plumber, have them subcontract to your plumber. So you want to have the conversations with them. You want to get a sense of how they communicate. And if they're not very clear or understandable, or they get defensive when you ask questions, or if they give answers that are flippant and just sort of answer it for whatever, to satisfy themselves and not satisfy your question, then maybe they're not for you, because you're going to be stuck with this person for weeks, months, even maybe the year, and you want to make sure that you can communicate with them. Some of the key things that you want to discuss with them are timelines, how many people will be on site, whether they have insurance, are they going to be doing a cleanup at the end of every day, and finally, get multiple quotes. If price is an issue and there are two really high prices and one really lowball price, I recommend that you get another quote just to make sure that that lowball quote isn't going to be a big mistake. And how do you determine if a contractor is going to be a big mistake? You've got to talk to previous customers. So I strongly recommend that you get references and you actually check references. You're putting a lot of money into the renovation, and you want to make sure that you do due diligence and make sure that you're happy with the decision that you're going to make with them. For us, our contractor in our area, we went with a company called Shurtleff. They were really good. They were the quote in the middle as far as cost goes, but it was really clear that they love what they do. They come in and they do the cleaning at the end of every single day, and it was amazing. Every day we'd come home and we gutted right to the studs with plaster and mortar coming down and pulled away, and it was clean in the construction area every day that we came home. And they often came by at the end of the day to see how things were going. So if you're in my area, I strongly recommend Shurtleff, but and that's not a paid promotion. But call people and find out if they're right for you for your project. So the next tip is know your budget and then prioritize what's important for you. So for us, we were happy with IKEA kitchens, and so we decided that we would save on the kitchen cabinets so that we could get the countertops that we wanted. Other areas where we were willing to save were on flooring. So normally people don't save on flooring. We have a house where the floors are not very straight, and because of that, we couldn't just put down tile and we couldn't just put down hardwood, and it's hard to match the old hardwood that we had. So we actually went with a luxury vinyl that is in shapes of wood panels or wood strips, and it just needs to be laid down. The flooring people that did it did a bit of gluing as well, just to make sure, because the floors were uneven. But because we were able to save on flooring and on cabinets, we were able to get the marble countertops that we really wanted. We were able to get a really nice island wood countertop that's actually from beams from a hangar in Trenton, Ontario, which is a military base, an Air Force base, and it was an old hangar. And so we were able to get those customly done. And we wouldn't have been able to do that if we'd spent the money on flooring. So my whole point there is to make sure that you know what your budget is, so that you prioritize what you have to have or really want to have to get that look or feel, and then what you can get similarly for less money. Perfect examples as well for getting what you really want and saving money or being savvy is our lighting. What we did was we went on Restoration Hardware and found the lighting that we wanted, and then we searched online to find something with the same look and feel but significantly less expensive. And so that's what we did with our pendant lights and our sconces beside our clock. So here's my fourth tip, or rather a warning or a heads up, that when you hire a contractor, they are not necessarily your designer and not necessarily doing the purchasing for you. So when you do your vision board and you get your ideas, and then you find your contractor, well, you're asking your contractor questions, determine whether they're going to do the purchasing of the tiles, the flooring, the cabinets, or whether you are expected to do that. I wasn't aware that we were going to have to do that, but luckily, because we had our vision board, it was very, very easy for us to go in there and find exactly what we wanted in the local area. We did a lot of searching online, actually. And we were able to successfully find a lot of what we wanted and did a lot of purchasing online for delivery, as well as some local places. Once I got over the initial shock of this, it was actually kind of nice to be part of that process, because then we really could control our budget. And if we did go to a store and found the subway tile and then found a different subway tile, either cheaper or fancier or less fancy, depending on the look we wanted, we were sure we got it. So there were very, very few instances where when the contractor installed something, it was wrong, because we had vetted and purchased all of the coverings and knobs and tiles and flooring. My fifth tip is to visit your vision board throughout. So don't just create your vision board, purchase all the stuff and go. What I strongly recommend that you do is get the timeline from the contractor of how long your kitchen is going to take. And then from there, purchase things as you go. So if there's something that you really, really, really want and it goes on sale, buy it. If there's something that's not on sale and it's not going to be needed for another month, don't purchase it. Wait until you're able to confirm that's exactly what you want, because your taste may change, and then purchase it, and who knows, it might be on sale. The other advantage to constantly going back to your vision board is to stay on track, because there's nothing worse than talking with a contractor and the contractor potentially convincing you that that's not a direction you want to go. Before you agree with something, take some time and say, can I think about it, and talk to you about it tomorrow. Visit your vision board and remind yourself of exactly what you needed to have and could live without. That will help you provide an answer to your contractor on any big decisions. Last but not least, what I'll do is I'll provide some images of the steps that we took for our own kitchen renovation. As I mentioned, I'll put some of our suppliers in the description below so that you can go check them out and see if there's anything here that you liked. You can go ahead with it. But without further ado, let me take you through the steps of our renovation, and I hope you enjoy. So there you go, that's it. That's the story of our kitchen renovation and some tips that we hope you find useful. And thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And we hope to see you next time on our Canadian Foursquare. Bye.